Hey everybody, this is Nick. I'm excited to give you a quick tour around Polko, how it looks and works and feels from the point of view of a resident respondent as well as from a community administrator. The first where we're going to start is from the resident respondent point of view. If they come to Polko, they will see a feed of surveys and policy polls, and it's curated based on their location. Polko's an account-based system, so as they come in, verify their identity, their individual identity, and their sentiment is never shared. It's always aggregated and de-identified, but they verify themselves so their voice can count as a verified resident of their community. And as they do that, they're seeing a feed of surveys and policy polls from their appropriate local government organizations, cities, counties, school districts, park districts, library districts, and even state organizations posing questions to them. So they'll see their feed. In this case, I'm a resident respondent subscribed to tons of organizations. So I'm seeing content here from Rochester, Minnesota, Stillwater, Minnesota, Avondale, Arizona, and more. But just for individual resident, they can come to Polko either on the web or mobile responsive website, progressive web apps, tons of ways for them to come and find the content that's appropriate to them. If they want to see for other communities, maybe they live near or own property, they can manage those subscriptions and see content. They won't be matched obviously as a registered voter in any of those communities, but might be helpful for them just to stay informed on it, as I am here. So before we jump over to that, managing the subscriptions, we'll take a quick look at what it looks like to participate in a survey. So they just jump over, click take survey. In this case, part of Polko's mission is to facilitate not only more participation, but better informed participation. So in this case, Rochester has put some background materials as well as some active web links so the residents can find additional materials before participating, and then away they go, just like you might expect from any online survey or civic participation website. Except in these cases, that their input can be verified and citable. So with that, we'll just jump over and see what it looks like from the resident point of view to manage their subscription. So again, in this case, I'm a resident of, or I'm subscribed to lots of different communities here, and you can see what it's like, and I'm following all of them. But in any of these cases, a resident can simply come in, search, find, subscribe, or unsubscribe to different communities that they might be interested in participating. And we can, some of these have not activated profiles on Polko, but if they do, it's easy for them to come in and to upload their city seal and get started, and away they go. So with that, we'll jump over, take a look at what it looks like to be an administrator in a city or a county using Polko. So this is for the city of Spokane, Washington. They've just started recently engaging their residents on some parks and natural lands content. And so we're in the content tab. They can create new content pretty easily, access our library of great content, or just come down and take a look at some of the content they've put out to their community. You'll notice they've done two here. One is open to everybody in the community to have a voice. This one was a selected subset, part of a probability-based random sample. And so there's mailed out to and online access to a limited subset. So slightly lower response numbers, obviously, but this is to help ensure the representativeness and randomness of those who were selected. The top one, again, gives everybody in the community a chance to have a voice and lend their input. And, if it happens to spill over, we can still filter out folks from outside the community and filter out people who may have participated more than once. So let's just dive in and take a look at this content from Spokane on their parks and natural lands survey use. So again, you'll see they included some background materials to help inform the respondents. They can see the status and number of days remaining open on this particular survey. And then the next thing that they'll see is a geographic heat map of participation to date. So they can see who they have, who they don't have, or how they should adjust their outreach to hear from more members in the community. In this case, though, they've done quite a good job. I think it's nearly over 3,100 respondents in the community have provided input. Over half of those were matched in local voter file verification records. So this set of results, and we'll see both of those in a minute. They can ensure that these ones are citable. So it's easy, it's citable, it's powerful. And then they can also check the participation representativeness by age. Pretty good job here. Usually pretty difficult to recruit folks in their 20s and 30s, but they've done a nice job with that. And their participation is slightly overrepresented by females. in this case. But again, good job by them. And so that's a participation. We can dive in next and start to take a look at results. And let's jump right over to the advanced results. Pretty cool for them. I was just taking a quick look at this as a recent survey. And question 5 was really good. This is for the city of Spokane to assess needs for improvement and upgrading different components of their parks. In this case, playgrounds across the city. You can see the geographic variation and sentiment with playgrounds. You could do the same thing for neighborhood parks, special use parks, sports complexes, open space and natural lands, sports courts. And so as we're kind of taking a look at this geographic variation and these different components, not only can you see the variation in the different components of parks and natural lands, you can see it for all respondents. You can see it for in each of these cases for the registered subset of those. You can see how that sentiment varies by male and female and by different age brackets and more. So you could imagine being an official in the city of Spokane trying to figure out how to best reallocate your resources or bring new resources to bear to maximize increase and improvement in quality of life, and wanting to make sure that you're working on either the neighborhood parks or the courts or the natural lands to improve satisfaction with different male or female or age groups. You now know kind of where your gaps are and where your strengths are, and you can reallocate the resources in your community even better. Pretty cool, pretty powerful. Probably the last thing to mention here is for any of your surveys or your policy polls, you're engaging the community, all the respondents become part of your standing digital panel, kind of like your subscriber base or your followership. And you can access kind of where you stand community-wide with a geographic heat map of participation across the community overall, not just on a given piece of content, but overall. And the time evolution of your community digital panel that continues to accumulate over time with each of your engagements. It's easy to re-engage with these folks and let them know outcomes of content they've participated in, how new projects have matured, or just say thank you or ask new questions to them. Just builds a healthy, sustainable culture of participation, total responses, and you can also see for your overall panel kind of the participation representativeness by age and gender. So thanks for checking this out. We think it's pretty cool. We love working on it. Appreciate your interest, and we'll talk more. See you around. Have a great day.